We often confuse being drawn to someone with someone being healthy for us. Being drawn to someone is most likely chemistry, so don't confuse the two. True connection isn't synonymous with chemistry. Depending on the person and their conditioning when they were growing up, chemistry is that familiar feeling we have when someone matches our childhood conditioning. If you had a loving and supporting family who was affectionate, spent time with you, and took care of you, then you will find that chemistry with someone will indeed be a good thing. It will match a more healthy connection. But if, like the majority of us, you had a less than perfect family, one who was not always supportive or maybe even abusive and controlling, then you will find chemistry with the very thing you will eventually find hurtful and difficult, because it's familiar to our brains. You see, our brains are hardwired with our childhood experiences, emotions, traumas, successes, failures, and societal beliefs. It's a melting pot of all of it. When we meet someone who had similar experiences to ours or carries the same wounds that we do, we will feel a very strong and almost uncontrollable magnetic pull. Our brains can get attached pretty quickly. We might not even know what hit us. What we do know is this familiar feeling of strong attraction and amazing happiness that we suddenly feel for this person. We are high on the love drug, high on hormones, the feel-good hormones. Now this is chemistry, and it feels so good in the beginning. We're on top of the world until our triggers start showing up. We find ourselves in the same kind of hurtful situations we have experienced before. Then the roller coaster ride begins. We feel amazing, and then we feel down and low, and it becomes confusing. In contrast, in a true connection, we find a person who is the opposite of our wounds, who offers us support, love, and affection. But here we might not feel chemistry. That might feel foreign to us in the beginning. It might even feel off-putting at the start. Some describe it as a meh feeling. It certainly is not the same as Cupid's arrow that we feel with chemistry. But we can grow to find that stronger connection and attraction because it will progress and deepen. This is due to the fact that the brain is experiencing something different and something outside of our comfort zone or what is familiar. It takes mindfulness of ourselves, our wounds, and our true desires to see the difference. As we grow and heal, our attraction and chemistry will also change. We'll find a deeper connection to someone who will support our self-love and growth. We will still have ups and downs, as they too will trigger us in a way that is an opportunity to grow and look at our shadows. It won't feel like bricks hitting us in the high of the chemical cocktail we have with chemistry. It will feel fulfilling and supportive. It will feel contented, like we have met someone we can grow together with. When we seek romance in a way that is outside of what our true self needs, we get caught up in desire, passion, and sexual energy until the thrill is gone. When we realize the other person's behavior or way of expressing love isn't like ours, we begin to wonder what we ever saw in that person in the first place. We suddenly wake up from that high and get sober. I personally thought I was past the chemistry hook a few years ago. I had known about the effects of chemistry and knew the signs. I met for coffee, and even though when I got home, I heard in my head, is this chemistry? It feels like a drug. It still got me. What was going to be coffee and friendship turned into a nightmare, rehashed issues, and eventually abuse. It only took 3 meetings for me to be past the point of no return. Part of me knew what was going on, but something else was at the steering wheel. I've come to realize that I grew from that experience that we only have a short span of time before our brains get hooked on the heroin-like cocktail and we become attached to another person. It takes a great deal of awareness and willpower to resist that strong magnetic pull. And it's almost like sobering up before the alcohol has worn off. For most people, life is about the circumstances. Oh, I was lonely. My friend said I must give it a shot. Now, I can't always be choosy because I will die single. My parents said it was a marriageable age. These are the things that often push us into a relationship or marriage. We don't fall in love because we are in love. We fall in love because we are supposed to fall in love. And how tragic is that? How many married people do you know who are really in love? How many people do you know who are happy in their relationships? The answer will shock you. The truth is that true love is rare. So rare. Most people just adjust and compromise. Adjusting is the easiest option. You don't have to wait. You don't have to bear the peer pressure. You don't have to go through the emotional drama of your parents. All you need to do is forget that there's anything like love. We are born, we study, we get a job, we marry, we raise kids, and we die. That's how most people live. And for many, it's the perfect life, because what else can you do? This is how life is. Everyone does that. Don't be a fool. The practical advice in that last statement is given by all. I find it idiotic. So please ignore that last statement I made. That's not life. That's slavery. That's slavery to society and their rules. Society sucks. Their idea of marriage sucks. You get just one life. You get just one life to experience the epic love stories that you have grown up watching and reading. How can you convince yourself that these epic things are not for you? How can you just settle for ordinary love? And how can you let your age define what you deserve? How can you accept something now that was always unacceptable to you? People are complicated, I do agree with that, but love is simple. It should make you happy. I don't buy that idiotic theory of burning in one-sided love. No. I know it sounds amazing, sacrifice, true love, real feelings, God level, but that's not for me. I can't accept pain in the name of love. I can't hug sadness just to be a great lover in history. My life is about happiness. And that's the bare minimum that I expect when I choose another person. I know most things are not in our control, destiny, whether we stay together forever or fall apart. But happiness is a choice, my friend. And I'm always going to choose happiness above everything and above everyone, every single time. Yeah, I know some of y'all might be already saying, yeah, she don't know what true love is. You smile in sadness, that's love. But you know what? To hell with you and your idea of love. I'm not going to stay in a toxic relationship just to be known as a great lover. I'm not doing it because I'm a simple person. I want to be happy. And if love can't keep me happy, what's the point in being in that shady relationship? And no, I'm not talking about occasional fights and sadness that keep happening in all relationships. I know that's normal. And I'm not asking you to leave your person just after a fight or two. I am talking about constantly being unhappy when you always feel worthless and you feel like shit. I'm talking about that toxic relationship that is eating you from the inside out daily. You don't deserve that. You can't ruin your whole life just because you choose to say yes once. Loyalty cannot be your punishment for life. I will stay with you does not mean that you can keep burning my soul in pain daily and I will stay with you. That's not love. That's slavery. And if being someone's slave is your idea of love, then to hell with your ideas of love. I won't tell anyone to adjust with that shit. Give it a few chances, yes, to change, to heal, and to bloom. But after a point, you got to leave with your head held high. There is no shame. You are still a perfect person. You are still a great lover. It's just that you have to have self-respect. It's just that you want to be happy. And I get that, It's hard to find love. Very, very hard, but it's worth the risk. And it's worth the wait. What's the worst thing that can happen to you? That you'll never find love, right? And how is it worse than living with the rest of your life with a person you never loved in the first place? How the hell is living in hope worse than living in a suffocating compromise? Truthfully, you don't have to wait forever for the epic love that you truly deserve. Because you know what? That comes from within. And once you find that, everything else will fall into place. Don't settle. We are limitless beings with so much potential and power we have yet to discover. We have to be willing to do the work on ourselves. And I'm telling you, it's not easy. Nothing ever is. But I promise you that once you finally discover the innate magnificence inside of yourself, the possibilities are endless. With that, I'm complete.